thanks for joining us. So this is TVC News at 7. I am Precious Amayo. We begin this hour in the nation's capital, where President Bola Tinubu says West Africa must do more to grow its own economy and compete on the global stage. He made this statement on the final day of the West Africa Economic Summit, alongside other regional heads of state. Senior reporter Ademola Lawrence reports.
It's the final day of the inaugural West Africa Economic Summit held here in Nigeria at the Bola Tinubu International Conference Center. Stakeholders have gathered to discuss the socio-economic future of the region with a focus on trade and investment. In his opening remarks on day 2 of the summit, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Yusuf Toga, stressed the need for West Africa to build on its achievements in trade and investment.
As governments, as states, and the region, we need to do more to make it easy to bring that activity within the formal sector, to bring with it the economies of scale and other efficiencies that will accelerate growth and help our entrepreneurs.
In their goodwill messages, the presidents of Liberia and Sierra Leone emphasized that regional economic integration remains a key driver for fostering sustainable growth.
The door open for engagement and reconciliation, especially to our sister states that have unfortunately exceeded the community. With Liberia's ascension to the Security Council, we are determined to be a principal voice for the region, advocating for just solutions to global and regional challenges.
Let us continue to engage development partners, investors, policymakers, and citizens to drive industrialization. I reaffirm, ladies and gentlemen, Sierra Leone's unwavering commitment to regional integration and prosperity for all.
For President Tinubu, the summit is about turning fragmentation into opportunity, fostering integration, and driving collective action across the region.
Nigeria invests in skills development, digital connectivity, and youth empowerment. But no one country can do this alone. Our prosperity depends on regional supply chains, energy networks, and data frameworks. We must design them together, or they will collapse separately.
For these stakeholders, West Africa must unlock its potential, particularly in the rise of public debt, insecurity, geopolitical uncertainties, and food insecurity. Ademola Lawrence, TVC News, Abuja.
Now, for more on the West Africa Economic Summit, financial analyst Mukhtar Mohammed joins me on the news. He joins me virtually. Good to have you join us, Mukhtar.
Thank you, Precious. Thank you.
All right, so again, we're having a conversation on regional integration and trade. And we know that, integration rather, we know that there cannot be integration without trade. Yet, whilst we have seen an increase, our trade has been a bit low, still low, in the continent. What do you make of that? And then the conversation at the summit?
Well, I like what our president was saying, making everybody know that each country know that we cannot do without each other. We need each other. Connectivity, penetration, business. And also, I'm happy that he mentioned about security, which is very key with what is happening in the ECOWAS sub-region at the moment. Before you say you have trade within yourself, first of all, you also have to improve security. Now, in improving security, that is one. Then secondly, we have to look at the place of infrastructure. I'm talking about within West African sub-region. There it is difficult for you to even move from Nigeria to Accra, or talk less of from Nigeria to Guinea. I think those are part of the things that we talk about infrastructure. We don't even have daily flight from Nigeria that will go to Benin Republic, or even daily flight that goes from Nigeria to a place like Mali, Senegal. All these are West African sub-region. So we need to improve on that. Then secondly, also, we have to look at our trade. I keep saying it. I don't know why Africa regional leaders, especially West African region, are thinking of a single currency when they've not been volume of trade within ourselves. So we need to improve that volume of trade within our nations. whereby we have to do that, whether with the African Continental Free Trade Agreement or with our own regional trade agreement. But they've been a challenge because of cost of production, especially in each African country, and we've not been able to come up as a region on what it will be. Will it be duty-free? Will it be tax-free? If it's producing your nation, how much will
And I wanted to talk about, Mukta, sorry to interrupt you because you mentioned tax-free, and my mind went straight to tariffs. Because you find that sometimes, especially when the AGOA, which is the trade treaty for agricultural products between Africa and America, while it was still on, it's been suspended now, you find that it was a zero tariff for agricultural products. But to trade within even the African continent, sometimes tariffs can be as high as double digits. And I'm wondering, shouldn't that be also something that they are looking at addressing as well?
I think that's something they should definitely address if you want to have volume of trade within yourself. I'll give you an example. Cocoa is produced in Ghana. Chocolate, Ghana has one of the best chocolate in the world. But the cost of chocolate in Ghana that will bring it to Nigeria is more expensive than the cost of chocolate from the United States of America. And when you look that Ghana is just your neighbor here, so it should have been cheaper. But meanwhile, the United States of America came here to get that cocoa raw materials from Ghana. So why is it cheaper to buy chocolate in the US than buying chocolate in Ghana? It's cost of production. Now, if you want Africans to trade within themselves, then you need to look at how you bring down the cost. And one aspect of bringing down the cost is what you just mentioned, tariff. You have to begin to look at your tariff system. And the African Continental Trade Agreement have a tariff system which says if a product is produced in that nation, if it comes to Nigeria, the amount of tariff or taxes that product is going to pay will be different from the product that is maybe produced from another nation. But unfortunately, Africans are looking at themselves in the sense that they are looking at, example, let me give Nigeria. We know that the cost of production of goods in Nigeria is very expensive because of power, because of transportation, exchange rate volatility. But the market is here in Nigeria. So if you bring a product that will be produced in Ghana and bring that same product to Nigeria, if you put them buy and buy to compete, the Ghana product will be cheaper than the Nigerian product because of cost of production. So Nigeria having the market will now be a dumping ground for other African products. And what it means is that Nigerians' own company will not be able to do businesses because of cost of production. So those are the challenges in the African Continental Trade Agreement, and that also could be driven into this West African sub-region. So tariff is key. Is it zero tariff, like you said, or is it some levels of tariff depending on the nation and your relationship with the nation, or a blanket tariff in terms of whether 5, whether 10, whether zero tariff for all West African countries?
Thank you so much. All of these production costs also get buzzed down to quality and quantity as well in terms of sales. We'll continue to monitor this conversation and how these countries are responding to it. Thank you. Always a pleasure to have you on, financial analyst Mukta Mohammed.
Thank you for having me, Precious.